Major frenzy. Jimin under scrutiny again. Jungkook sparks heated discussion. The uproar began with a single spark. A sudden wave of conversations, accusations, and questions that once again placed Jimin at the center of intense scrutiny. Why is his private life repeatedly dragged into public debate? And how did Jungkook, seemingly unconnected to the matter, suddenly find himself in the eye of the storm? The situation has ignited a frenzy that is spreading like wildfire across the ARMY community, leaving fans divided, confused, and desperate for answers. The timing of this debate is not random. Every time Jimin surfaces with even the smallest personal detail, it appears magnified into a larger-than-life controversy. His image, carefully built over years of artistry and discipline, suddenly collides with the invasive nature of speculation. And this time, the debate has taken on a new dimension. Jungkook's name has been dragged into the whirlwind, fueling an even deeper sense of confusion and shock. Could this be mere coincidence? Or is there something hidden behind the narrative that fans have yet to uncover? What makes this frenzy particularly dramatic is the sheer unpredictability of how it escalated. A seemingly small matter, an appearance, a rumor, a fleeting connection, has now evolved into a full-scale debate that questions not only Jimin's private choices but also Jungkook's involvement. The whispers grew louder, spreading across online platforms, drawing sharp opinions from every corner. Some fans defend with fierce loyalty, insisting that Jimin's private life should remain untouched. Others, however, raise unsettling questions, wondering if there is more beneath the surface than the public has been allowed to see. The moment Jungkook's name entered the discussion, the narrative shifted dramatically. Suddenly, this was no longer just about Jimin. Jungkook, one of the most closely watched figures in the group, became entangled in the discourse. Was he simply collateral damage? Or was his presence in the debate intentionally amplified by those who seek to create drama where none exists? The heated exchanges among ARMY reveal a deep divide. Those who feel protective and outraged on behalf of both members, and those who treat the situation as an unsolved puzzle demanding answers. For years, Jimin has been no stranger to scrutiny. His every gesture, every word, and every change in appearance has been examined with relentless precision. This latest controversy adds yet another chapter to a long history of debates surrounding his personal world. The fact that the conversation refuses to die, that it reemerges with greater intensity each time, raises critical questions. Why is Jimin's private life continually subjected to dissection, and what does it reveal about the culture of obsession that surrounds global icons? Adding Jungkook into this narrative only intensifies the storm. The speculation around him, often rooted in fragments of context or misunderstood interactions, becomes ammunition for heated arguments. The frenzy thrives on uncertainty, feeding off gaps in knowledge, and turning silence into supposed confirmation. ARMY, a fandom known for its passion and vigilance, now finds itself torn between defending their idols and demanding the truth behind the connections being drawn. The emotional weight is undeniable. Supporters feel both protective and betrayed, both fiercely loyal and deeply unsettled, as the debate rages on. One cannot ignore the psychological toll it takes on the individuals at its center. Public figures like Jimin and Jungkook live in a paradox where every private action risks becoming a public scandal. Fans may ask themselves, are they truly supporting their idols when they fuel such debates, or are they unintentionally feeding the very cycle of scrutiny that causes harm? The line between love and intrusion blurs, and the consequences of crossing that line may be irreversible. The frenzy, however, does not exist in isolation. It thrives because of the digital ecosystem that amplifies rumors and questions within seconds. One tweet, one post, one short clip can ignite millions of reactions, transforming speculation into what feels like evidence. Jimin's name resurfaces, Jungkook's presence becomes entangled, and the entire ARMY is left questioning what is real and what is nothing more than an illusion created by noise. The speed with which narratives spread leaves little room for fact-checking, creating an environment where emotion often outweighs logic. Yet amid the chaos, a haunting question lingers. Why does it always come back to Jimin? Why is his private life, above all others, repeatedly pushed into the spotlight of global debate? Is it his aura, his history, his unique presence that makes every small moment magnified into controversy? Or is it the relentless nature of a public that demands more than it has the right to know? And when Jungkook is dragged alongside him, Does it reflect mere coincidence? Or is it a deliberate attempt to destabilize the harmony army works so hard to protect? The frenzy shows no sign of fading. In fact, the more questions are asked, the deeper the discussion becomes. Fans dissect every detail, analyze every angle, and speculate endlessly on the meaning behind the connection between Jimin and Jungkook in this ongoing storm. The debate is no longer just about two individuals. It has become a mirror reflecting the relationship between idols and their fans, between privacy and exposure, between admiration and obsession. In the end, the world is left with a dilemma that cannot be easily resolved. How much of an idol's life belongs to the public, and how much must remain untouched? At what point does the love of fans transform into pressure that suffocates the very people they admire? As Jimin stands once more under harsh scrutiny, and Jungkook becomes the unexpected centerpiece of heated arguments, the army must confront these uncomfortable questions. The frenzy may continue, but beneath the noise lies a truth that demands reflection. Idols are human, and even in the brightest spotlight, they deserve the shadows of privacy. The current frenzy surrounding Jimin and Jungkook has escalated to a point where clarity and reason are overshadowed by noise and speculation. As the debate intensifies, one critical question demands attention. Do the events circulating truly reflect reality, or are they carefully crafted illusions designed to capture public fascination? This dilemma is not trivial. It strikes at the core of how modern media operates, and how fans consume information that is often sensationalized and rarely verified. When we examine the origins of these narratives, we notice a common pattern. Clips emerge on TikTok, edited fragments appear on YouTube, screenshots spread rapidly on Twitter, and articles multiply across digital platforms. But do these fragments amount to truth? Or are they fragments carefully selected to construct a version of reality that fits an agenda? The uncomfortable reality is that much of what circulates lacks thorough verification. Should we, therefore, allow ourselves to be swept away by the tide of speculation, or should we pause, question, and demand evidence? Consider the repeated scrutiny of Jimin's private life. Why is his personal world continually transformed into a spectacle? Is this relentless attention a reflection of genuine public interest, or is it a product of media mechanisms that thrive on controversy? Each time his name resurfaces, we see the same formula. Speculation is amplified, emotion is stirred, and narratives are constructed without concrete foundations. Should this pattern not compel us to ask, who benefits from such cycles of sensationalism, and at what cost to the individuals involved? The sudden insertion of Jungkook into the debate deepens the enigma. Why was his name dragged into a controversy that, at first, seemed centered solely on Jimin? Was this a deliberate move to intensify the frenzy? Or was it merely the byproduct of fan speculation spiraling out of control? The answer remains uncertain, yet the implications are profound. With every mention of Jungkook, the discourse multiplies, the attention grows, and the storm of confusion becomes harder to escape. Should we not question whether this expansion of the narrative serves truth, or whether it merely serves attention? There is another dimension that must not be ignored: the psychology of consumption. Why are we, as audiences, drawn so powerfully to these controversies? Do we believe we are uncovering hidden truths? Or are we participating in a cycle of obsession that feeds the very machine we criticize? Every view, every click, every share contributes to the perpetuation of the frenzy. Should we not ask ourselves whether our engagement is an act of support or an act of harm? The danger lies in the blurring of lines between fact and fabrication. In the absence of verified information, speculation fills the void, and speculation is easily mistaken for truth when repeated often enough. But how many of the so-called revelations about Jimin and Jungkook are substantiated? How many are mere fabrications designed to manipulate public perception? The uncomfortable possibility is that much of what captivates us may be nothing more than illusions. Are we prepared to confront the idea that the frenzy itself may be built on a foundation of half-truths and hoaxes? Skepticism, therefore, is not optional, it is essential. Every claim must be weighed, every source scrutinized, every narrative questioned. Should we not demand evidence before embracing conclusions? Should we not reflect on the ethical responsibility we bear when discussing the lives of individuals whose humanity is too often overshadowed by their celebrity? In failing to do so, we risk becoming complicit in the very exploitation we condemn. We must also reflect on the consequences for the individuals at the center of this storm. What does it mean for Jimin to live under constant surveillance by public opinion? What does it mean for Jungkook to be entangled in controversies not of his making? Their artistry, discipline, and contributions risk being eclipsed by narratives over which they have no control. Is this the price we are willing to accept for entertainment, or should we confront the moral cost of such voyeurism? The questions cannot be dismissed. Are we truly engaging with reality, or are we consuming a narrative designed to exploit our emotions? Are these events genuine reflections of private struggles, or are they carefully orchestrated dramas meant to capture headlines? And if the latter, why do we continue to participate so willingly? In confronting these questions, we must acknowledge the broader issue. The media landscape thrives on speed and sensationalism, not necessarily accuracy. Stories spread faster than facts can catch up.